And we're good. All right. Yeah, so how's things going, Daily Haze?
Excuse me. I just took a bong hoot and I'm still working on, so I'm going to cough a bit. Forgive me. But otherwise, pretty fan-damn-tastic. How about you?
Not too bad.
Right arm.
Got off work. Legs kind of sore, but yeah. And we're good. All right.
See, mine should be
Yeah, so
sore,
how's things
except
going, Daily Haze?
some cute chick at work decided to convince me to wait around an extra half hour for her to give me a ride instead of walking up. So I'm like, all right, fine.
Nice.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it didn't take much convincing.
To be
Excuse me.
expected. Must have been a good rip.
Well, I just cleaned the bowl the other day, so
Ah.
yeah, like I just used the pipe cleaner on the bowl on the stem of it, so it's gonna take a while to get used to the strength of that again.
God, I miss getting high.
Do you miss getting high or being high?
Well, it was always more of a process. Like I used.
That's why I specified. Because some people like the high without the process, and some people like the process without the high.
I like the process and the high.
Sorry. Fair enough. See, yeah, I'm on that one. I like both. And Jack Gunsky, don't worry. If I'm dying, I will regenerate. I am a Time Lord. That's what we do.
I'd like to be able to get high without the coughing of a lung part.
You know what? That's fair, Camel. But I grew up with you can't take the good without the bad. So if I'm getting something that's
Yeah,
good,
I know.
if I'm getting some good without some bad, I get very suspicious.
If you don't cough, you don't get off. I know. I've heard it all before.
Oh, that too. Yeah, you can get high, but if you cough while you're trying to get high, it'll accentuate the high.
So I don't know if you guys have heard, because I just found this, and
Guarantee I haven't.
Baring's gonna be a dad.
Oh, I was wrong.
Nope, I had not heard that yet.
I heard that this morning.
So, what, Sugar Tits had him do a shotgun wedding?
Well, didn't they already do the wedding like a couple months ago?
Yeah, it was
Timing, man, timing.
It was yeah. I'd say, well, you really shouldn't announce it until like three. I think it's like after the first trimester, because that's when most of the pregnancies fail in the first trimester.
See, nowadays, I don't think they should announce it till it's too late to abort. Because abortion is too popular. And also, hi, Jack.
So, you're saying about 40 weeks?
It's a sad thing, but yeah, unfortunately, I don't think they should start. I think nowadays they should stop saying it till they're like 40 weeks or so when they can no longer abort it.
Literally announce it right after the water break.
Sorry, I was trying for a Gutenberg entrance.
Blame Canada.
Oh, well, that's no fun.
So,
Oh, no, blaming Canada is always fun. I was talking about something else.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
don't want to live
Sorry.
on this planet anymore.
Sorry, continue your thought, Hate Camel.
Oh, no, I was trying to tweet out the stream from Chrome, and it wants me to sign in to Twitter through Chrome. This is why I stick to fucking Microsoft. Because all my shit's already logged in there.
Y'all are bitches.
Well, they're both spying on you, so
Yeah,
kind of
it's-
a wash.
Do I want people spying on me from San Francisco or Seattle? Which is it?
Well, to be fair,
Oh,
Microsoft is probably spying on you through Google anyway, so they're double spying on you.
I imagine that the people at Seattle are probably more competent than the people at San Francisco, so I'd go with San Francisco.
I mean,
Uh,
I'd go with Seattle. Seeing is in their name.
Well, and they're probably trying to get away from all the heroin needles, so
Well, they might have heroin needles, but San Francisco's got, human turds in the street, so...
they've got both, from what I understand.
Oh, yeah, they have both of them, yeah.
Oof.
So,
But,
I mean,
how do people not recognize that all of the worst cities in the country are run by Democrats?
that's a hate fact.
Why does
Why?
nobody
That's true.
why does nobody call them out on this? Hey, did you notice that every single horrible human waste condition in the country seems to be run by Democrats? I don't even know of a Republican-run city, or at least one that is getting in the news for all of the terrible things that's happening in it. Can anyone think of a single Republican-run city?
Reagansville.
Oklahoma City was run by a Republican for a good long while.
Hmm.
But the only reason why I know that's because I'm from Oklahoma.
I just took a bong rip, and you're asking me if I can think? How stupid are you?
Okay, list of mayors in the 50 largest cities in the United States. Democrat. Independent is from Texas. Oh, we have a Republican mayor, San Diego. Jacksonville, Fort Worth, El Paso. Is anyone counting these? I think that's 4. 5.
So pretty much all the places that have military bases is what you're saying?
Colorado Springs, Miami, Virginia Beach. Yeah, like 10 of these are Republican out of 50.
And if
all
I'm not
the
mistaken,
top ones.
military bases.
Yeah.
I think we found the common denominator there, Jack.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So military cities, big on with Republicans. I can dig that. And you know what? They run them well because all the military cities are worth respecting.
Yeah, you're not having to dodge, shit on the one side and dirty needles on the other.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst thing you can say about San Diego? Occasionally some weirdo goes there to jack off in the street. I mean, Jacksonville, that's Florida, so I mean, it's a toss-up.
Yeah. and the number one mayor for the largest city in the world, Bill de Blasio. Even New Yorkers hate Bill.
Well, I mean, do they ever actually like a mayor while the mayor's in office in New York?
Well, what about Giuliani?
What about him?
Yeah, like
People-
3,000 people had to die for them to like him, and that only lasted for a little while, didn't it?
Well, yeah, but keep in mind he's basically the person who beautified New York City and turned it from a
today.
shithole
Cleaned it up.
into a tourist attraction. He basically single-handedly saved New York City.
Yeah, he made NYC go Disney.
Yeah.
There's no words there to play us out. What does that
Yeah,
mean?
so I imagine that his popularity is at least relatively high. And also, he's a Republican.
Play us out.
Well, like I said, it was high for a while, but he's a Trump supporter now, so they're probably
Yeah. And now Billy Boy's in there, and everybody hates
That's
his
tomorrow,
ass.
and that's
So-
it
Like
for us
everybody.
today.
Can somebody explain to me about De Blasio? Like he's married to a woman who was a lesbian. Was she like one of those lugs?
That's tomorrow, and
Or,
that is
like,
it
was
for
she,
us
like,
today,
full on-
and we will leave you.
Flannel wearing. What's the story there? Because
That's tomorrow,
if,
and that
if
is
that's
it.
not a story of conversion therapy, I don't know what is.
I'm
That's
afraid I
tomorrow.
don't know much about Bill's personal life, and frankly, I'd rather keep it that way.
They're just
All
some skeletons better left unburied.
Yeah.
Well, like I only remember like bits and pieces of like his backstory from when he first became mayor. Because I mean, the dude's a giant. He's like 6'7" or something like that. He's some ridiculously tall motherfucker. And this is coming from a guy who's well above average for height. And like I think his wife's black. They've got mixed race kids. Good for them. But I swear, I for some reason it's in my head that I heard them talking about her being a lesbian before they got married. I'm like, how is this not a bigger story? It's like, what did you do, Bill? Tell us your secrets. I really want to hear that story.
Was that playing a Loud 6? I was actually fiddling around with his fuck it, we'll do it live clip.
Oh.
Oh. Then the next 6 minutes is, why am I hearing Bill O'Reilly? I was like, does one of us sound like Bill O'Reilly?
That's what I was wondering too. I forgot the.
His ears are way sharper than mine because I did not catch that, Johnny.
Yeah, because I was like, oh god, nobody else sounds like Bill O'Reilly. Does that mean I sound like Bill O'Reilly? Oh no!
Well,
Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that, man.
Well, that only means one thing.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
So I got asked an interesting question tonight by this chick at work.
Do
So-
tell.
So I had this crush on this boy one time, and he later started transitioning. Does that make me a lesbian?
Oh.
To which I responded with, well, that depends. Did you still have a crush on her after she started transitioning? No. Then no. The answer would have been no regardless.
How old are the people you work with? Because starting the story with, so I had a crush on a boy.
I work in a high school environment. I work in a restaurant. And the chick in question just turned 19 on the 21st.
Yeah, that would
She would
explain
qualify.
She's also the same chick who came up to me a half hour earlier tonight and said, "Tell me something that'll scar me." Hold on, I I went to Minion's Discord for suggestions. Let me read that correctly. Yeah.
Well, obviously you work at the cafeteria of Degrassi High. Just tell her there's only two genders and that bitch will be fucked for life.
No. When I asked her why, or at least for some context, she didn't say anything. So I was like, all right, fair game. Any suggestions?
Rotten.com.
And then
Never.
Okay.
That's one of those websites that I've heard of, and I've never been to it because I know it's going to be terrible, and I don't want to know.
I went there.
My school lost our computer privileges for a good long while because of that website when I was in grade school.
I went there in high school, and there's a couple images that are still fused into my brain.
But you mentioned transgender people earlier, and all I could think of was a few nights ago I was watching an episode of Murder, She Wrote, because I watch television with my mom during dinner, and during this particular episode, it features older actors, mostly people that were either really old when people like us started hearing of them. But you know who I saw in an episode? Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner. And my brain did cartwheels. I was like, wait a second. Do I call him Bruce?
Probably
Do
had
I
this,
call him Caitlin?
probably had the same processing errors that we had watching The Room.
You know what's got my mind doing cartwheels? The only thing I find wrong with what you just said, Jack, is that you said you were eating dinner with your mom while watching television.
Yes, because I'm 80 years old.
No. I don't
And,
care. I don't care what you were watching. I care the fact that you were watching dinner while eating, or sorry, eating dinner while watching TV. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to eat dinner and then watch TV before and or after.
No,
Oh,
no,
so
we.
Bella's even older than you, Jack.
Yeah, holy shit, that's some old fogey shit right there.
Oh, join us in
we-
the 20th century, Della. We
There-
eat dinner while watching television.
If I wanted
The
if I wanted to stay in the 20th century, I wouldn't have this TARDIS. Sorry, this retardus.
What? I'm sorry. In the future, is everybody an old fogey too?
No, sadly, everyone watches everything through their contact lenses while they're doing everything, and nothing gets done. It's very pathetic and dismal. I don't recommend living that long.
But do they have porn in those contact lenses?
What do you think they're watching?
Okay, well, it's
do you-
already better than Google Glass, so I'll take it.
Oh god, that shit's just gone, isn't it? Google Glass.
It
Yeah, that was
died
like a
because they
joke
wouldn't
when it
put
started.
porn on it.
Let me explain it to you this way. You seen the movie Idiocracy?
Yes, every day I'm more convinced that it's a documentary from the future.
Yeah, we'd be so lucky.
But no, I mean, think about how much technology has been affected by porn.
Oh,
Google
God.
Glass died because they would not put porn on it.
Well, I mean,
It's-
If
all
they
this-
did, we'd all have a pair right now.
It's all this moral arbiter bullshit. It's
Oh.
everybody has to live according to our stupid rules because apparently we live in the 1950s or some shit.
Well, I mean,
Ugh.
that's why everyone had VHS instead of Betamax. That's why you had DVD instead of what was the other one they had? Shit. DivX.
Laserdisc.
Laserdisc. Yeah, well, I mean, DivX was also supposed to be, you would burn your own DVD,
Yeah.
and then it just became, that program. It was actually supposed to be like a full-on machine, but porn went with DVDs instead of DivX, so then it just became software.
Well, I mean, guess what, people? Everybody likes drugs, booze, and porn, and
Yep.
they're just
Sex,
gonna
drugs,
have
and
to
rock
get
and roll,
used
man.
to
It's the
that.
American way.
Yeah,
It's the
they're just
everyone way.
they just have to get used to that, and if they don't, they're going to die off, and frankly, they'll deserve it because they're morons.
It's people pushing the narratives you just mentioned that are saying the exact same thing about people who are following those narratives that you just mentioned.
I'm not even high yet, and you lost me. What's going on?
Sorry, I lost myself and then realized where I fucked up. Okay, so the people that are like you're saying that like sex, drugs, and rock and roll are the way of are the shit that we should be like, this is good, this is nothing wrong, and like people who are talking about, that's a no, we shouldn't be doing that, we should be having the moral high ground kind of thing. Yeah, they're the ones fucking. Damn, I really lost it now. Fuck my life.
Wait, I think I know where you're going with it.
Please
The
do.
people in the 1970s and 1960s. I'm eating something right now.
No, that's not what I was laughing at. But yeah, go ahead.
No, the people in the 60s and 70s who were preaching free love and free expression and were doing all the drugs are now on the political opposite, and now they're the ones who are saying that we should restrict all these things because they're immoral and demoralize humans and all that bullshit. The sides have flipped.
I'm closely remembering to what I was at. I was going for something along the lines of people claiming the moral high ground now and going against like sex, drugs, and alcohol and all that shit on the extreme levels kind of thing, or using the same kind of narratives or same kind of arguments we were talking about before on their side, and skewed in their views.
Oh yeah, well, like we've known this for decades, though. The guy that founded FIRE, the Foundation for Individual Rights and Education, if I'm not mistaken, that's the acronym. He said, when he was in college in the '60s, they were fighting for, free speech on campus and everything. And then once those people graduated and they became the professors in academia, There's like, oh, no. We wanted to be able to say whatever we wanted. We want you to say what the fuck we want. Which is why he started that foundation.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that these people were learning ideas and not principles. They aren't educated properly in philosophy. So they have an idea of what's good, but that's a fixed idea rather than something that exists within a larger framework. And so what they end up doing is they end up with all these different exceptions that they have to claw out this. They have to claw out all this cognitive dissonance in order to keep those few precious ideas alive in their head. When what they should be doing is exploring everything in the most. What I'm trying to say, they're trying to facts over feelings, people. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Forget everything I just said.
Oh, he finally got to a point?
There was a point?
Yeah, fuck you too.
Wow, I do it and no one roasts me. Jack does it and we all roast him. I feel a little bad for that double standard. I'm not gonna lie, even I feel bad on that one, and that's not the Canadian copy.
Honestly, Del.
Fuck you too!
I love you guys.
Yeah, but honestly, at this point, hosting the game show has become like an exercise in completely stripping my ego.
Well, like,
everybody makes fun of me.
Why do you think I've based
Now you fucked up.
Why do you think I've based my
Exactly.
whole fucking persona around Idiocracy? Because I knew shit like this was gonna happen, and this was gonna. So I expect it, and that makes it easier to roll with the punches and stuff like that, as opposed to getting upset with it and just raging and shit like that, and going like I don't know, or some other stupid dumbass. Yes.
Well, yes, but the problem with that is that if you approach everything with an ironic lens, then all of a sudden you end up like Mr. Medicare, and all he does is basically he just takes the piss out of everything and everyone, no matter how good good or noble their intentions are. And I sort of imagine Mr. Medicare in like a 1700s, just roasting all the founding fathers. These guys didn't want to pay their taxes, so they wanted to start a revolution.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's actually a line from Days of Confused.
Also,
Like,
that's not what I was trying to say.
What Jack was saying about Medicare.
No, I was responding to Jack on that one. Sorry.
Oh. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to point out I was not trying to say that that's what I was going for. I was just saying like, you know, expect that you're gonna get fucking trolled and shit like that, and just be ready to deal with it when that happens is what I was trying to get at. Because everyone gets trolled at whether it's a lot or a little, and at some point or another, it's gonna happen at one point in your life. So expect it and be ready for it. That's all I was trying to say.
Okay. Where were you going with that? Hey, I was more interested in your thought. Hey.
Oh,
Ken.
no.
Yeah.
No, the whole they didn't want to pay their taxes. That's actually a line from Days of Confused. When high schoolers are getting let out of their history class, the hot teachers telling them, you know, remember when you're celebrating this 4th of July, it's, you know, because a bunch of rich old white men didn't want to pay their taxes. I think Medicare would come up with something a little bit different than that. I think, you know, he'd come at it from a different angle. But other than that, I agree with what you're saying about him. He would just be sitting there just pointing and laughing at everybody. Founding fathers, you know, some podunk farmer, everybody.
Yeah, Mr. Medicare, would have been a British sympathizer. He might have all he would do is he would laugh at the revolutionaries and claim that they're a bunch of spazzes.
Well, I think he would just he would look at the like I wouldn't say that I totally agree with you with that, but he would also look at the British and be like, you guys don't know what's coming to you. He knows how to play both sides.
I mean, he does a little bit, but not to the extent that I think would rescue him from this clear logical fallacy that he's ensnared himself in. The notion that anyone who tries to start any sort of revolution is just a fag or something.
He strikes me as a nihilist who, just pointing and laughing because none of it matters, none of it, That's what I get from him, and I find it amusing.
It is amusing.
I haven't kept up with him here lately. I've dropped off a lot of my YouTube content that I've been consuming.
Well, he's been doing more streams lately, and they usually hit while I'm either at work or with the kids. So it's not like I could just watch it, and then by the time it's done, it's gone.
And I don't want to sit there and listen to him reading off all those fucking super chats.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad he's doing well, but goddamn, if on the re-upload he could just cut that shit out.
Yeah, nothing's more obnoxious than Mr. Medicare fans. Bunch of they just say like the same shit over and over again and think that it's brilliant.
Well, I've come to the realization over the past few years that content is content. It's good, bad, whatever. If you like it, great. The worst part of any content or content creator is going to be the fandom.
Yes.
Because I enjoyed the show Sons of Anarchy. I liked it when it was on FX. Like the cast, like the writing. I thought it was funny for the most part. A semi decent allusion to Hamlet.
Mm-hmm.
And but man, seeing the fans, especially in my area, the people who latched onto that show, it's like, oh fuck you. It's like you just like guns and motorcycles, and that's fine, but like I saw a dude wearing a full leather jacket, like with the Sons of Anarchy patch and shit, the top and bottom rockers, and instead of it being California where the show's based in, it's Oklahoma. It's like, oh, somebody should beat you just on principle. There's no way you should be walking around that. No, that's retarded. No.
I'm a unitard!
Exactly. Just a sea of Ralph Wiggums wherever I looked. But yeah, the fans always suck.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether the content is good or bad.
This kind of leads me to a question that I've asked a lot over the last few years. In the beginning, when YouTubers, there were a lot of people in quotes, in like 30 pairs of quotes, community, were going after the bedroom feminists. The big blowback from the bedroom feminists says basically you have lots of fans, and by doing these videos, you're essentially instigating people to hate mob us. And then the automatic response was, no, we're not responsible for what our fans do. And that never fully washed with me. I never fully understood that, because to a certain extent, you curate your own audience. The content you put out and the people you interact with in public reflect the kind of audience that you're ultimately going to grow. And can you really not have any response if you do like shitty stuff online? You're gonna get a shitty audience. So aren't you in a way kind of like partially responsible for what they do? Seeing as you're the ones who basically curated them from the start?
That depends on the content, though. I mean, there's if you're doing the like the prank videos, for example, there's no, you have people saying, you know, like with like take Bearing for example, because he's gotten a lot of shit for that shit. Where he's got like I'm not,
well, not deservedly so, but yeah.
but I mean like he's gotten a lot of flack for his content from like Christy Crew and all that shit.
Yeah, like Armored Skeptic saying, oh, well, he's just making fun of the bedroom feminists. No, he doesn't do videos on bedroom feminists.
Like,
but yeah,
he did like, what was it, one video on one bedroom feminist, and that was it. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, he's forming an army.
Yeah.
And you know, and then you get, you know, the content creators like, I don't know, like whoever I'm gonna make out with random chicks on the street. Because then that's where you'll have people being like, oh, I could do that.
Or what was that one where they were acting like they were dosing each other with fucking like sex drugs? I think it was Bear that covered that one.
I think him and Monkey both did.
I think Bear. I'm pretty sure Bear made videos about it. I think him and Monkey streamed talking about it, like he did Breakfast with Bear, Monkey in the morning. But like, yeah, those are some grade A idiots that are, you know, buying into those videos.
Yeah, like I think any content, you have to realize there's at least one person who will, I wouldn't say attempt to do what you're going to do, but would at least put that thought into their brain.
Well, I mean, like even if you do, like, you know, just say, be very generous, say only 1 out of 100 people are a fucking idiot. There are 7.5 billion people in the world, and I'm not that good at math, but that's a lot of idiots. A lot. And a lot of them have an internet connection. I'm one of them.
I think that all YouTubers, myself included, are idiots, because only an idiot would become a YouTuber against such incredible statistical odds that they'll fail.
But my mom says I'm cool.
Actually, my mom doesn't watch any of my shit, so I don't have to.
Yeah, my mom is well aware that I am not cool, especially since I go around saying my mom.
My mom was literally the first person to go around telling other people that I was an asshole, so I don't think she'd be surprised.
Hey, well, if you're an asshole, at least you're cool.
But, yeah, my mom literally told that to my girlfriend. She's like, I don't know why you're with him. He's an asshole. Thanks, Mom. Love you too. You know? But...
And my mom's the type of person to go around, he's a very nice boy. She doesn't sound like that, but that for some reason in my family, all of our impressions of my mom end up sounding like Edith Bunker. Oh, gee!
Did you watch that before or after Murder, She Wrote?
No, I'm not quite that old yet. Give me another 10 years and I'll be able to watch All in the Family.
Actually, what's really funny is you make fun of him for it, but I was doing the exact same thing when I was living with my parents.
I'm not making fun at all. I go and visit my mom and we watch, you know, Netflix. I have her watching a TV show right now. You know, go over there, you know, buy some dinner, take it over to her, you know, eat, talk, watch some TV.
You know what's a nice show to watch with your parents? Have you ever seen the show Nailed It? It's a cooking show.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's a cooking show, and they have amateur bakers, and they try and have the amateur bakers replicate professionally done cakes. And so what ends up happening is they all look terrible, like comically bad. And so it's like a cooking competition, except to see not who's the best, but who is the least awful. And so it's pretty funny.
Well, my mom's a diabetic and I'm a glutton, so we'd probably just both be sitting there like, hey, do you think that'd still be edible? Do you think it tastes good at least?
So not a fan of cooking shows then?
No, because like I'm just like, well, why am I watching somebody else cook when I could just be eating and watching something else?
Well, it's like whenever I watch anything with my kids, it's just like, how many carbs is in that thing? just because my youngest is diabetic, so it's like I'll see something, and I'm like, I wonder how many carbs is in that.
Well, I've just gotten to the age where I start asking that question, but I'm still young enough that I don't really care. It's like, how many carbs in that? Oh, fuck it, I'm going to eat it anyway. You know?
I'll eat it.
It's starting to catch up to me.
well, mine is like, I'll eat it, and I'll see if he'll like it. Like, but he's...
I'll eat it, but I'll regret it afterwards.
Yeah, that's always a fun one.
I'll be like, oh, I'll just have a couple slices of pizza, even though I'm not really hungry.
And you wake up the next day, it's like, man, I should not have ate that whole thing and the breadsticks. Fuck.
Well, it's like the last time a friend of mine worked at Arby's.
Oh God.
And that was back when their ad was it's good mood food. And I posted on Facebook, I'm like, if Arby's is good mood food, then why do I feel like I want to die after I eat it?
Is Arby's really that bad? Because I know The Simpsons pokes fun at them all the fucking time, but I've never actually been there. Is it really that bad?
No, it's pretty good.
No, it tastes good. It tastes all right. You know, I mean, I like the curly fries. I love the curly fries. But you just feel like a sack of shit afterwards. Like once your body really starts, trying to start digesting that, you're like, oh God, I made a mistake.
Hey, I have an idea.
You start swearing it off like it's fucking alcohol. It's like, God, I promise I will never eat Arby's again.
Hey, I have an idea. I assume we all live in relatively different parts of the country. Delahaye is living in Canada included. How about we just list like chains that we've never been to because they're not in our region, and see if anyone else has had them, and see if it like lives up to the hype or anything. For example, I have never been to a Krispy Kreme. Has anyone here ever been to a Krispy Kreme?
We've had Krispy Kremes sold here. But as far as the actual company having an actual Krispy Kreme store, we don't have one.
Same here. We got a local joint. Got a couple local joints actually, but no Krispy Kreme.
Well, Delahaye, you live in Canada. They don't have Krispy Kreme. They have
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons, that's the one.
Okay.
See, I scare myself by how much I actually know about Canada.
Well, see, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I don't even know what the fuck a Krispy Kreme's is. Is that some sort of fucking, like, cookies and cream thing, donut thing? I don't know.
It's a donut thing.
Well, yeah, I got that after the Tim Hortons reference, obviously. But
Yeah. So how's the Tim Hortons, Delahaye?
Because we've never had it.
I fucking love it, man. I go there for the coffee. I go there for coffee and breakfast every day before work.
Well, yes, but the donuts, man. The donuts are what matters.
So Delahaye, you're telling me
Coffee for closers only.
Sure, why not?
You can't close shit. You are shit.
I'm willing to bet you he's never seen that, Johnny.
Wow. I was just thinking they didn't fit. That's all I was thinking.
I've never seen that movie, but I have seen that scene, and it is an. Did you know that it's not actually included in the source material? The book is it's based off of a book, and I think it's based off of a book, but that scene wasn't actually in the original source material.
It's like a book, or I think it was a Broadway.
I think the stage play.
It was a stage play at one time also.
Stage play.
Yeah.
That's the one, yeah. And yeah, they they basically just brought in Alec Baldwin, and that scene is totally fabricated for the movie, and it wins the Oscar.
Oh, that's a good adaptation.
Yeah, the part that stuck with me ever
Yeah.
since I first watched it.
Fuck you! That's my name!
But I mean, think about that. How many legends did they have in that movie?
Let's see.
Alan Arkin.
Hold on, cat. Gotta go. Be right back.
All right.
Ed Harris, he's pretty good. What's his name?
Alan Arkin.
Yeah, Alan Arkin's good. What's the from The Apartment? Jack Lemmon,
Jack Lemmon.
I think. Yeah,
The Odd Couple.
yeah. I was actually in The Odd Couple once.
Or was that
in my high school days?
Or was that grumpy old man?
No, he was in both.
Ah, okay.
He was in that. He was also in The Apartment. He was in this really great political satire. I forget what it's called.
Who we talking about?
Jack Lemmon.
Oh yeah. Oh,
What was the name of that political satire he was in?
wasn't it him and
Holy
James
shit!
Caan?
What did they do to cats?
Or
What? Oh, I'm not even looking at that. Don't even.
was that political movie? Wasn't that with James? Shit. Was it Rockford Files?
My Fellow Americans.
Oh yeah. The two former presidents.
Yeah, James Garner and Dan Aykroyd.
Garner. Right.
Yeah, that was a pretty good movie.
That had me so distracted I forgot what we were even looking up.
Was it with the cats?
It was because of cats.
Oh,
They're doing a movie based on the play of Cats.
Yep, I got warned about that this morning on Minion's Discord, and I am not looking at it because of such comments.
You know, I gotta say, first Sonic, now Cats, is no furry property safe anymore?
Sure.
What
Nothing
the
is safe
hell
anymore.
what the hell are the furries gonna masturbate to? There's gonna be nothing left soon.
Oh, you know those guys will masturbate over anything.
They'll find a way.
And Al Pacino as Ricky Roma, the motherfucker who never even bothered to show up to the meeting.
Yeah, I mean they had a whole gang of dudes in that movie.
Which movie?
Glengarry Glen Ross,
Oh yeah.
Jack Lemmon, Alan Arkin, Kevin Spacey before he was known as just a ridiculous dick grabber.
Before he was verboten. Although then again, they did drop the case, so who's to say?
The alleged kitty diddler.
Well, again, let's not. How many accusations were there against him? Just the one, and that was dropped. Yeah, it went to court, but then was dropped.
Yeah, the one that went to court and then was dropped. Then there was a bunch of rumors going around. The dude from Star Trek, the new one, he accused Spacey of trying to get fresh with him at a rap party in the 80s. That's
Again,
when all this started.
Here's the thing: if people accuse him of it, and it's like multiple cases, there's a reasonable chance that he did it. But then again, we go around trying to say reasonable doubt for all these other people. Kevin Spacey deserves reasonable doubt. You know what I mean? Even though he's an actor, and even though we all love to hate on actors because they're assholes, he deserves reasonable doubt.
Well, the reason why I don't give him reasonable doubt is because his go-to was "I'm gay."
I was gonna say that my comment was not to try and say that he was a dick grabber. Before he became known as a notorious dick grabber. I mean, I don't know one way or the other whether he's just grabbing dudes left and right. No clue. But he is, that's what he's associated with now, and that sucks. That's the first thing that comes to mind instead of all the movies he did that were pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of movies that I like.
And once there's a verdict of guilty about one of these things, him doing something illegal, it's like, yeah, then it's gonna be like, oh fuck. I mean, I'm still gonna watch the movies, disassociate the character on the film from the person in real life. That's what I think an adult would do.
It's difficult to do that, though. For example, I mean,
yeah,
one of my personal favorite stand-up routine for the longest time was Bill Cosby as himself. I can't watch it. I have too much trouble disassociating the man from that of which he's been accused and then proven guilty.
I also can't watch Leonard Part 6 because that was my favorite movie growing up, one of them. And
now
if only not because if only because of the ostrich part at the end of the escape scene.
So tell me this: did you like it ironically or unironically?
Well, I was like 8.
So okay. That's fine.
There's
nothing wrong with that.
I was also watching Revenge of the Nerds at that time, so yeah, it was there was a lot of
wacky,
a lot of context that I was missing. So
I love crazy 80s comedies. One of my favorites is Real Genius.
Is that the one with Val Kilmer?
Yes.
I've heard about it. I have not actually watched it.
That's a good one.
I love that movie.
One of these days, I need to go through a list of all the movies that I haven't watched. Kind of I think Paulie's doing that right now, isn't he? Going through all these different movies. Or am I mistaken?
Not a clue.
I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
I know he's gone through I think that as part of his thing, he went through Moon Knight as a series that he hasn't watched in general, although that's a comic book, and I know that he also did Ghost in the Shell as part of that, a big famous property he hadn't read.
I could have swore I heard him talking on one of the Monkey in the Morning or something about going through a list of very well-known movies that he hadn't actually sat down and watched. Be starting to go through them.
I actually purchased a book of Moon Knight, the series that Hastings was. Hastings used to sell comics before they shut down, and it was our only access to comic books in this town. And I went to a family reunion over in Washington, and I found an entire book of the series that I had started but never got to finish, and I immediately spent part of my last part of the last amount of money I took to get back there, and I grabbed it as soon as I saw it.
I remember the thing is that I didn't have a ton of comic books growing up, and I didn't have a lot of pocket money to spend on them. So what I would do is sometimes there was some guy at the old home day fair. Do you guys have old home days out there? Like a town related fair?
Some of the smaller towns do.
Yeah. But and there would just be some old guy there selling 20 or 30-year-old comic books that he was just trying to get out of his house. And I would just buy those because you'd only have to pay a dime for them. Just buy a bunch of those. So that's how I got all my comic books. Not a ton, but some.
Yeah, my hometown has a flea market every once in a while.
I would just go to the library if I wanted to read comics. They usually have like collected editions if there was a book with a long enough run. Like that's how I read a whole bunch of the Walking Dead series. Like when I heard they were making a show out of it, I went down to the library. It's like, hey, you guys got anything on this?
We didn't have comic books at my library.
Well, I mean, like I said, it was
Yeah.
it was, put together like a actually like a book-sized book. It was just a collection of I don't know how many different issues.
Yeah. A graphic novel, I
Pretty
believe
much,
they're
yeah.
calling it. It's stupid. Just call it a comic book. We all know what it is. This is just some stupid bullshit tactic to make it sound like you're not reading comic books.
I mean, we know what it is. We know what it can be. It can be fucking great art.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just-
visually and literal, in the literary sense.
Yeah. It can be a fully fleshed out story, and guess what? They're now being made into $300 million movies. The good ones that weren't made within the last 10 years or so. Or 20.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is kind of like how many different names you got to have for the same thing?
Speaking of, I just caught Alita Battle Angel.
How's that?
Other than the CGI, the CGI was better than Captain Marvel's, that's for sure. But it was still shit. But
That's what I figured.
like, I don't know. Maybe it was just the fact that they were just bad actors. Like,
Isn't that a Robert Rodriguez movie?
I don't,
Didn't he direct that one,
It may be.
or did
It
he
may
just
be.
produce it or something like that?
let's
Because
see.
I usually like a lot of his work, and he does a lot of very different things.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez directed it. James Cameron wrote it.
Like I know I think the other night I remember listening to somebody complaining about the Grindhouse movies. I think it was Paulie and quizzing them last night.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
actually was.
They were bitching about what's his name, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Well, like I understand why. Hey, Vincent. I understand why they were bitching about Quentin Tarantino, but I actually went and I rented. I didn't go see it in the theater, but I rented the Grindhouse movies because of Robert Rodriguez. It's like, well, what's he doing with this Get Up? Because he directed one of the movies, and it came as a pair, so I sat down and watched both of them. And
Yeah, it's actually not bad. It's just there's a couple of just, I don't know. It's like it seems like the actresses are just trying to trying way too hard.
now, that being said, also like that was not nearly anywhere near the top of my list for my Robert Rodriguez movies. It's very much at the bottom, but like he was the draw, not Quentin Tarantino for me to see that project.
Hmm.
What about you, Della?
I
Any thoughts on the collective work of Robert Rodriguez? Did we lose him?
I think he's
Are
asleep.
you alive, Della?
I'm sorry, you're talking to me? I was waiting for you to specify. I didn't notice. Sorry.
Deli, are you out there?
No.
He is really that high.
Yeah.
You didn't hear me say your name, dude.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm recording a video right now.
Oh, please tell me this isn't a thing.
What?
Okay, now I'm confused. What?
No, I just caught what looks like a picture from He-Man.
Oh God.
No, don't show me. Okay, show me.
I was gonna say, yeah, show Jack. Let's, I'm all about
No,
the shot.
I am going to see if I can find it first, but it might have just been like fan art of which I'm hoping it was, and it looks like it was.
Okay, good.
Because yeah, it's it was pretty bad. Although they're doing a third Sherlock Holmes movie.
Oh, good Christ!
Wait, with Robert Downey Jr.?
Yep.
Wow.
So hey, you sound like a fan of Robert Rodriguez. Have you ever seen El Mariachi?
I have. It's been a while, but I have, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a movie I've heard so much about because it's like a well-known low-budget movie, and it's like his first feature film.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the movie that got Selma Hayek, a lot of notoriety up here in the States. I think that was her first. I think that's her first English-speaking movie. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. That's why Johnny's supposed to be looking at the IMDb.
I am all over it.
Wait, who's? Because you said her. Isn't Robert Rodriguez a man?
No. Robert Rodriguez was the director of that movie, but it was Selma Hayek's first English-speaking movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I didn't hear you say Selma Hayek.
I could have mumbled. It's very possible.
I was like,
I heard it.
Has Robert Rodriguez been a woman this whole time? And I didn't.
But no, that's the start of the Mariachi trilogy movies. It's that Desperado is the sequel, and then Once Upon a Time in Mexico is the third and final installment. And stop at Desperado, if you're gonna take my advice.
Once Upon a Time wasn't bad, but
it wasn't good either.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny Depp and Eva Mendes. It does have Willem Dafoe, so I mean, I guess that kind of makes up for it.
I like Willem Dafoe.
Everyone likes Willem Dafoe. He's like that freaky, scary uncle. Like him and Christopher Walken. He's like the heir to Christopher Walken when Christopher Walken dies.
No, the thing is, he doesn't have like a cadence. He doesn't have a
that's the only hang up
about him. He doesn't have a certain air about him that Christopher Walken does.
Okay, maybe it's just the way I see it. I put them in kind of the same category of, like if you could draft your own family, like NFL draft style, those would be two like first round picks for like crazy uncle that you just want to tell you stories and shit. And Walken he wins that toss up because of the cadence. You just want to sit there and listen to him just tell you like the watch story. Like, yeah, I've heard it 100 times, but yeah, one more time, Uncle Chris.
He hit it the only place he could, up his ass.
I think Willem Dafoe though, like he'd be like the scary uncle, like the one that came back from Vietnam and won't shut up about it.
No, he'd be the one that came back from Vietnam and never talks ever.
Just communicates with his eyebrows.
You go to his house and you ask him stuff and he just like gives you general grunts.
And not that odd point with your nose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just eyebrows and nose movement. That's it.
I need to go to the bathroom. Yeah. It just gives you the nose point. It's over there.
Selma Hayek is uncredited with El Mariachi.
Oh, really? Huh.
She is not on IMDb with that. And I very much remember her being in that for two very well-rounded reasons.
Yeah, like I remember her talking about it on. I used to watch Inside the Actors Studio with my dad. That's the old fogey that I am. We would sit there and listen to these actors talk about their roles and shit, and it's like, oh, that's a funny backstory. Okay, cool.
I will direct your attention to the top left of the screen.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Oh no.
Oh, hold on.
That is why I said, "Oh dear God."
Oh crap, baskets.
You know, I didn't even watch He-Man, but even I know that is
Wrong.
So many levels of wrong.
That's like seeing your mom buy condoms. Wrong.
And then telling you to stay out.
Yeah.
Go have a sleepover at your friend's house. But they didn't invite me, Mom. I don't care. Go have a sleepover.
Wow, right in the childhood.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did I strike a nerve? It went real quiet all of a sudden.
I just said
flashbacks, okay? I'm sorry.
It's the collective PTSD and us forcing a smile on our faces and then changing the topic.
I just gotta say this. Cartoons in general, including anime, should not be adapted into real life things. This
I
whole
would
thing,
vote for that constitutional amendment.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've tried this multiple times now. Disney has tried this multiple times now. It is a complete disaster. It has never worked. It has never produced anything that was actually, you know, anything more than a quick cash grab. It's just really lousy, and it should stop.
I think the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that would be an exception would be The Mask.
I was actually just going to say that wasn't an exception.
Can we add an addendum and say no more video game movies either?
Ooh, I'm down for that.
There is one anime based movie that I will say was
adapted to live action.
Yep, it was really, really good.
Which one?
It was
muffled.
Rurouni Kenshin. It's the only one out of any of the anime movies that I've seen that is phenomenal.
My exposure to anime ended in grade school, and it began and ended with Dragon Ball Z. It's like I like that show, but I think I've watched part of Death Note.
I
enjoyed it, but I just don't get into anime as easily.
I recommend anime to everybody, and here's why: is because it is an expansive genre. It's not even really a genre per se, because it encompasses all genres. It's just a different art form.
I know, but for some reason, it's harder for me to suspend my disbelief with animated projects like that. I don't know, for some reason.
That's the thing, is that you kind of have to get used to it. I mean, there are certain adjustment periods for everything. For example, I could watch an anime and there's an adjustment period for the art style alone, because it looks totally different and some things are kind of off and it's a little weird. But then after a few episodes, you kind of adjust to it a little and you get used to it over time. But the other reason I suggest anime to everyone is because, as of yet, with the exception of dubbing, it remains the only art form that has been untouched by social justice. It's been relatively untouched. And, there was a TV show called Dragon Maid, and it is famous for Funimation basically hired social justice people to do the dubbing over it, and so occasionally it will throw social justice terms that weren't in the original source material, which to me is kind of like rewriting history. It's like evil on a philosophical level. But yeah, even if they're like more, even if they're more, if they're genres that you're expecting things to be less silly, there are anime shows that are very much like that.
Like, throw me a few ones, man. I'll try and I'll check them out.
Okay.
I'll give me at least a few episodes.
List off a few shows that you like in general, so I can kind of get a grip for what it is that you like.
Shows that I've liked in the past. I liked, I liked Sons of Anarchy, Breaking Bad. I like Supernatural.
Fuck yeah.
I want something. I like something with a bit of darker comedy.
Darker comedy.
No,
I'll have to think about it.
My friends will make fun of me for liking anime, and what's really funny is Supernatural actually has a few episodes that they've done in anime style.
Yeah, I've seen them.
And my friend's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be into those." I'm like, "Just because I watched like 2 animes doesn't mean I'm gonna be watching these." And they're like, "Well, why'd you just grab the case? Because we're gonna go rent it." I'm like, "Because I did, and I want to see it."
Yeah.
The first one that pops into my mind is Trigun, but it's a little bit on the older side, and it's also a little bit silly, but it also has a lot of very good action in it, and it's kind of got a shoot 'em up kind of feel to it.
Okay, so well here I'll give you the examples of the ones that I've seen that I've liked. Like I said, I like Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid. I like Death Note. I just never got around to finishing it.
So do you like a suspenseful thriller kind of thing?
I enjoy that, yeah. I was saying, like, if we're going with like any kind of comedy or aspects, I like something a bit darker, gallows humor, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a movie that sticks out to me that I saw as a kid that I would probably go back and watch again is the Street Fighter 2 movie.
Mm-hmm.
Never watched that.
That was actually I really enjoyed it as a kid.
The animated one or the Jean-Claude Van Damme one?
Oh God, no, not the live action. That movie killed Raul Julia. I will never forgive it. No, the animated one.
Okay.
I liked that movie.
Yeah,
that seemed like a good movie.
It was a good one.
Like
See, the problem is that right now I'm trying to compile all the anime that I've seen in my head to figure out which one's the best, but the thing is I've seen so many that's really difficult to pick out any one in particular. It's like if you give someone an ocean and tell them to pick out one specific drop, it's difficult.
It would just be like something that you would throw a beginner, something to dip your toes in.
Well, the general anime that I throw to every beginner, would be, if you like adventure kind of things, if you like an adventurous kind of feel to it, would be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's a very good beginner anime, and it's not exactly in the genres you mentioned, but I've never met someone who watched it and didn't specifically like it.
Okay. I'll have to, like I said, I'll give it a few episodes. Let it
Yeah.
Now, see, I kind of I like both regular and Brotherhood, but I liked the end to Brotherhood better than I liked the first.
Well, you know why that is, don't you? It's because the original Full Metal Alchemist Sans Brotherhood was written while the series was still in progress, and then they ran out of source material really quickly, and so everything else was just basically written on the fly, kind of like they do with lots of series. A contemporary example would be Game of Thrones. So people who are complaining right now about season 8 or season 5 or whatever it is, I don't know.
Well, that would make sense with Rising of the Shield Hero also.
Oh yes. Rise of the Shield Hero. That's pretty suspenseful, and it's isekai, and it's very intense, but also very fantasy-esque. So if you don't like fantasy, you might not be crazy about it. But that would also be certainly worth a try, because the first episode just knocks you right on your ass. It's really really intense and just awesome altogether.
And it is the inverse to God, what the hell's that?
Every
show?
other isekai.
What the hell's that show called?
Online?
No, the live action one. Handmaid's Tale. It's the opposite of that. Because which really actually I thought was kind of weird. In reading,
Wait, I keep getting mixed messages. Is The Handmaid's Tale good or bad? Because
it's bad.
Like all those protests tell me that it's got to be pretty decent.
Well,
if they think the United States is like The Handmaid's Tale, things must be pretty damn good in that world. Might check it out.
That's what I thought was weird. Is if you listen to how they describe the show, and then the critics are saying it's oddly timely, and I'm like, I don't see troves of women just being forced to have kids because the population wants it that way. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing something in the, in the lore.
The thing, One Punch Man was actually very good. It was a very good show, and interestingly enough, one person who watched it and liked it, Bill Burr, if you can believe that.
Yeah,
he actually talked about it once.
We brought that up on, was it Comic Book Curation, was it?
Oh yeah, we talked about that just last night. But yeah, it's definitely that show. It's got a lot of comedy in it. I don't know a lot of it, admittedly, although even if you don't know anything about that typical genre, I still think it would be a good show. But it also plays to people who have the inside baseball, because it turns a lot of tropes on its head, like particularly surrounding overpowered characters.
Which show is this now?
One Punch Man. I'll write it in the chat for you.
Oh, no, I'm aware of the show. I've just never watched it. And I know.
Yeah.
Punch Man. Come on, dude.
Well, no, but it's a reminder. So that you can look back in the chat and say, oh, these are all the shows that we talked about.
Okay.
How convenient. Thank you, Jack, for doing that favor for me.
Shows that are in the brain that I will never watch.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so you've given me 3 so far. I think that's good enough. I'll give each one of these, 5-6 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to you.
Mandatory 3 is a minimum.
Oh, okay, 3 minimum. Gotcha. How the fuck did I end up getting homework onto the stream?
Well,
it's not homework. It's fun.
I mean, as long as you guys don't expect like a typed report or something. I mean,
we
I want a 300-word essay on my desk Monday morning by 3 p.m. sharp.
In triplicate.
Yes. Proofread and grammar and spelling and punctuation checks as well.
And
in triplicate. Where did you go to school, comrade Johnny?
Well, it has to go to the translators.
And of course, there's one for your permanent record. Yeah.
I will say, hey Camel, it's a shame that you don't like food shows, because there is this one anime called Food Wars. And the thing about Food Wars is that it is basically as close as you can get to pornographic without actually seeing the nipples. It's...
You know what? Since it's anime and it's not real food, I'm willing to give it a try. I will try a food show on that recommendation.
That is also Satsu, one of Satsu's favorites. So
yes, Satsu loves this show. I think I may have recommended it to or was it someone else? I know I've recommended it to some people, but it's a very good show on the basis of plot, but it also has a lot of beautiful women.
Allegedly. I mean, they are cartoons.
You will get a picture of what it's like after watching the first episode.
Okay, gotcha.
And it has a second season.
It has a second season, and hopefully it will have another one. I imagine it will, because it's perverse as fuck, and this is Japan we're talking about.
Well,
I just want to point out how enthusiastically Johnny said that too, and it has a second season.
Well, I've never actually seen the show, so I can't. I can't actually say I was enthusiastic about it, but
You only read about it on the Christian Science Monitor, right?
it was through the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Oh, hey, I'm just looking through a list of the top anime series of all time, and actually has my favorite on it. It's Darker Than Black, a show that is excellent, but I would not recommend to beginners because it's very confusing.
Oh, I guess I probably should tell you the last two animated shows I watched too. The Boondocks and Black Dynamite. Those are the kind of cartoons I'm normally interested in.
Hey man, Boondocks is awesome. I'm Uncle Ruckus. No relation.
But yeah, I think Black Dynamite only had 2 seasons.
Mm.
But it also had a live action movie, so.
Well, Black Dynamite, the live action movie was first.
Exactly, yes. And then the cartoon came after.
I love that movie. That movie is so fucking funny.
Okay.
Sarcastically, I'm in charge.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I saw the cartoon not knowing that the movie was out there. I saw it first. So
see, you're always on the lookout for sounders. That movie is loaded with them.
well, in that case, I definitely need to get on that.
Wait, what movie is it?
Black Dynamite.
Okay, I got sidetracked by I got to show you guys this.
What the fuck? What the actual fuck?
What? Huh?
It's from the real O.J. Simpson.
Oh, that is in poor taste.
Wow.
Oh,
Is that real? I would check if that's real.
I don't know, but
That's
Real OJ 32. That.
I don't see a blue check mark.
I know he's on Twitter, but I never actually took the time to look at his @. I was just like, holy fuck, he's on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then I just sat there and waited for other people to make fun of shit that he said.
Oh no, he's not verified.
No, of course not. He just joined. He wouldn't be verified that soon.
But yeah, that's like, that's a bit much even for me.
Yeah, I doubt that's real. That being said, even though it's not real, it is still hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not funny.
Yeah.
But,
it's funny.
Oh my god, like that's the gallows that we were mentioning earlier.
No,
But oh my god,
like I just like the guy wrote a book said if I did it,
Right?
Yeah.
It's
He basically
kind of like Johnny with how he views space. He's like your first words in response are, oh hey, I'm gay. He's like
there's being acquitted, and then there's basically dipping your cock in the evidence.
I always like that line from Shawshank. Like, didn't you know everyone in here is innocent?
didn't do it. Lawyer fucked me.
Hey, Hayward, why are you in here? I'm innocent. My lawyer fucked me.
Yeah.
What's funny is like being in the drunk tank, because I've been there. Like some dude who's never been in trouble with the law before. Oh, those are hilarious.
I can only imagine.
You know, some college kid who's, you know, just out on their own, you know, got a drunken disorderly, and they're just cooling their heels, just imagining all the worst scenarios. And you just sitting there like, so how's it going? You know? Like, oh, you're afraid of prison rape? Dude, this is just the county jail, but how you doing? You know? Oh, they climb the fucking walls. It's hilarious. Like, dude, it's county. That doesn't happen here. You're thinking of prison. You're gonna stay in the drunk tank for 12 hours until you whatever, and then you're gonna go home. Calm the fuck down.
Actually, Jack, have you seen what the hell's it called? I had it, and then Eden of the East.
Yes.
That was
a pretty good show. It's an anime show where basically a guy is.
Okay, I'm thinking of something else. I was thinking of a live action deal.
That's actually East of Eden.
That's the one.
Yeah, he's given a credit card with like an absurdly large amount of money, more than anyone could ever hope to spend, and basically told to save the country.
Yeah, 12 other people have gotten the phone as well.
12 other people of what?
It's him and 11 other people.
Yeah, no, that was a good show. I would certainly watch that again. I haven't seen it in a while though.
And it's the only one I can say where they did the series and then 2 movies with it, and the movies actually did what they were supposed to do.
As in what?
Finish the actual story.
Oh, well, didn't they kind of finish the story, although kind of? Because
but this is more over a jab at Psycho-Pass.
Oh, I've never actually seen Psycho-Pass.
Psycho-Pass is what Minority Report should have been. And
well, can you give me the Minority Report except for this happens?
No, it's pretty much Minority Report. Like,
okay, so, let me jump in here for a second while you guys are talking about this. Minority Report, Philip K. Dick story. What kind of animes you got that would be, akin to Philip K. Dick? Like just anything like that? Anything,
You mean like not spacey, but maybe psychological, philosophical, futuristic kind of thing?
Yeah.
Well, the most prominent example would certainly be Cowboy Bebop, but then again, that's kind of a basic bitch answer for what anime to watch. I would need to think on that.
That's a definite beginner one.
Yeah, it is a beginner one, but the thing about it is that some people, it's kind of a polarizing one. Some people really don't like it. Other people really, really love it.
The reason, he's got so many movies that were made out of his books and stuff. The one that always kind of stuck out to me was A Scanner Darkly. So I was kind of looking something in that vein.
Yeah. Oh, so like more of a druggy kind of show. Like not a druggy, like a Beat Generation almost, except
something like that.
Yeah. I would need to think on that. I did see this one movie
because I always judge like TV shows or movies on multiple bases, whatever. The writing and then like the actual production.
If you want to see a show that is just balls to the wall, absolute batshit insanity, I believe it's called Dead Leaves, and it is absolutely insane. It's just a 45-minute movie, and it is absurd on every level.
I'd say for TV shows, Paranoia Agent.
Oh yes, Paranoia Agent. That's an excellent one.
Like,
and it totally fits that criteria.
I think that's the only one I watched where you get to like the resolution and you're like, what the actual fuck?
Okay.
Yeah, I will say this: the Japanese are still obsessed with Hiroshima. you didn't necessarily know that, but they have been ever since it happened, and they have not stopped. Which, incidentally, the movie Akira, have you ever seen that?
No, I've heard of it. I think I've heard it referenced somewhere. But
that would also fit your criteria, I think, pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and throw those two on the list, and I'll check them out as well.
Although Akira is kind of overrated.
I love Akira. I don't care what anyone says. Inquisitor takes the same attitude as you. I disagree very harshly. What Paranoia Agent?
Yeah, I haven't seen Paranoia Agent forever, but I just
just the theme.
It took me
theme song.
It took me a lot of like watching it over and over again to actually realize what the initial point of the story was.
Yeah, I went back. The thing is that when I first saw it, it was on Adult Swim. Yeah. And I was much younger at the time, and I had never really watched anime before, and I had never really watched Adult Swim either. And the commercials for it were freaking freaky as hell. And so I watch a couple episodes, and it is just blowing my mind, but it's too much, so I have to stop after like so many episodes because I'm just like, no, I can't take this anymore. But then I go back and watch it later on, and it's a really interesting story, and it's so abstract in a manner. It's weird, but it's also cool.
Yeah.
So did we just lose Della? Is he still doing that video? What's going on?
I assume Delahaye's died.
He's passed out with his face smashed against the keyboard.
Cuddling his bong.
Poor Delahaye's, we hardly knew ye.
Well, whose fault is that? You motherfuckers sitting over here talking about Akira and whatnot. Like, what the fuck am I going to say? Yeah, okay.
About as much as I've said. What the fuck is that about? What's going on? Huh?
Yeah,
what's this?
You took the good lines. But no, I do gotta duck out for a little bit here. I will be right back, though. I'm just gonna go run and grab something.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you guys in a few.
Yeah, but I remember watching A Scanner Darkly. That's also another movie that's really weird, but also kind of interesting.
Well, the reason why I liked it above like the other movies based off of Philip K. Dick was that I guess it was Richard Linklater directing it and using the rotoscoping over the live action. That really kind of like that took the writing, the actual story, and the production, and just made it seamless for me. Because I don't know if I could have taken that movie seriously if I was just looking at Keanu Reeves' face. You know, and Winona Ryder's face, and well, I mean, I could have taken Robert Downey Jr. seriously in that role. He kind of lived it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, him, yeah. Alex Jones, definitely. The rest of them, it would have been hard. But
especially. That being said, I do think that if they did it live action, I'd be curious to see how they did the suits that like change facial appearances all the time.
Okay, yeah, that would have been interesting to see the visual effects on that.
Yeah, because that's like whoa.
See,
Take a step back.
I think if they were going to do anime movies, that would probably be the way to do them.
What, rotoscoping?
Yeah.
That might be a way, but the thing
problem
is
is it's
that
time consuming.
the problem is that anime is too beautiful. Anime people are too beautiful, and real people, by comparison, are ugly. And I don't mean that in a sense like you can't find a real person attractive. I mean that in the sense of it's a different kind of thing. It's like comparing it. It's difficult to explain, but the anime art
Symmetry?
style is basically designed to boil down a person to a few basic characteristics, and those characteristics on a person are what defines how beautiful they are, except that it's all there is in anime. There's no spots, no wrinkles, no nothing on an anime character, and visually that doesn't translate to a human being. What I'm trying to say is that hentai is the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to make live action tentacle porn, so.
Exactly.
Now with
Although
Australia,
I'm
look
sure there's
good.
some cam girl out there willing to take the challenge.
I'm sure you'll have a Belle Delphine around there somewhere.
A what?
A Belle Delphine.
No. I'm talking like an actual like cam girl, not that. No. I'm talking a bitch that does sex shows.
No
A real whore.
no bathwater in this equation.
No, there was that one that
you're gonna find some Mercedes Carrera type chick who's got some kind of engineering degree who's gonna figure out how to make live action tentacle webcam shows in her bedroom. It's gonna happen within a decade. I'm gonna bet you. And it sounds like a good bet because no one's willing to take it.
Okay. Trying to think.
Did I go too far?
No. You didn't go far enough.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hear it.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's Johnny's channel. I've got nothing to lose.
Woo! Yeah, Johnny, you plan on getting monetized over here?
None time soon.
Oh, hey, man, you got
I'm-
70 subscribers. Congratulations.
Yeah, my son.
yeah.
Somebody finally took the plunge and got you off of 69.
Yeah, me and my son.
Oh.
The one that's not supposed to have one.
Wait, is this age restricted or not?
Oh, there's this TV show that I watched recently. It's called The Promised Neverland. And hey, you gotta
that looked pretty interesting.
watch it. It is truly excellent, and it is one of the most thrilling, the most thrilling anime I've seen all year, easily. Because it's sort of like it's sort of like a child genius versus an adult genius. If it's like a child genius and an adult genius played a game of chess and the loser dies.
Interesting.
That's the best way that I can describe it in the abstract without actually giving anything away.
Yeah, but for some reason my scatterbrain just thought of that story about the chess champion who got busted cheating. Do you guys see that story?
Huh.
Some dude, I don't even remember what his name was. I read the story like a couple weeks ago. I think it was either scrolling through Twitter or just when I fired up my computer, when I woke up. It was on like the MSN News or something. This guy in his like late 50s got to be like one of the top 200 players in the world, rated. And people couldn't figure it out because people usually don't get better at chess with age. It's usually young people. According to the article I read, don't claim me as a expert. But like he's in his late 50s and he's just climbing, rating getting better and better, like over I think 200 points is what the article said. And they finally busted him. Huh?
Why do people give such a big shit about chess?
I have no idea. I mean, I like playing it occasionally, but I'm not very good at it. You know?
It's literally one game. It's one. Do you have? It's a smart people game, yes, but do you have any idea how many smart people games there are?
More than I'm willing to participate in. So
You want to talk about a smart people game? Try Go. Go is like a smart people game on acid.
and I never claimed to be that smart, so I'm probably not gonna try and pick it up.
Yeah, a
But-
Go game can theoretically go on indefinitely.
And I got shit to do. So, but no, like yeah, he got busted using a phone. Like apparently he's about as devious as Don Knotts on sodium pentothal, because he was just getting up and going to the bathroom like every time the opponents made a move or some shit. I was like, how did you guys not figure this out sooner? Like, you guys are chess champions. I'm an idiot. I figured this out in like 2 paragraphs of this article.
Reminds me of I think it was like 3 years ago. A guy cheated on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
I
and
haven't watched that in so long.
it was the UK edition, and what happened is he brought a guy onto the set who was helping him to cheat, and at a certain point the guy starts ignoring the other guy's instructions on what answer to go for, and so the other guy in desperation starts coughing out the answer.
Oh no.
See.
And tell me I can find this on YouTube. I want to see this.
Oh, there's a whole documentary on it.
Oh, great. That's hilarious. That's. I mean, like the dude was getting a cut, right? That's why he was trying to cough out the answers.
Yeah.
Oh. How many people do you think have actually been able to cheat at those games?
There was one guy once.
Didn't they make a movie about him with like Ray Fiennes?
This quiz show.
Quiz show.
Oh, that's his show. There was also the guy who cheated on Press Your Luck, the whammy one. And basically, what happened was they had the way the game works is that you have one circle that's your choice that's flipping around a board really, really quickly, and sometimes it lands on a money value, and other times it lands on a whammy, which basically means you lose everything. And this guy basically figured out the pattern so that he would always land on a money tile. And so he goes on the show, and in a time where people would win like maybe a couple $1,000s tops, he goes on and wins over $100,000.
Well, that's not really
And-
cheating. That's
not cheating. That's
It's not cheating. It's just playing cleverly.
That's card counting. That's what that is.
And really, there's also a documentary made about him too, and it's really kind of sad because what happens is he ends up throwing all the money into a big pile on his living room floor, and then he gets robbed and loses everything.
Oh man, I thought you were about to tell me that he rolled around in it naked, like living the dream.
No, he loses everything, and then later on he's basically pulling small cons in Florida, I think. before
Florida
he
man
dies.
strikes again.
I believe it was Florida. I'm not positive though. That was also an excellent one. I gotta find all these videos for you. Hold on.
I'm gonna be busy the next few days. But no, I mean would anybody be surprised, like shocked, if it came out tomorrow that was that dude Ken Jennings, the big time Jeopardy winner, like if he had if he'd been able to like somehow game the system, you think anybody would be shocked, like truly, in this day and age?
Yeah, no.
Do you think it'd be nearly as big of a scandal as like back in the day?
Here is the link to the first part of the millionaire scandal, and I'll get the second one up to you soon.
But because I'm just that kind of cynic. Like if it came out tomorrow, like he cheated on every answer, I'd be like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, like, it's like you want to believe that somebody could be that smart. It just, I want people like that to validate my extraneous bullshit that I know. Because like, how often does French literature come up in like an everyday situation?
Yeah, it's kind of rare when my nerddom goes from like Law and Order, and that's about it. Like,
well, what I think is funny is like I said, I never claimed to be a smart dude, but a lot of the stuff, like if you actually sit down and watch Jeopardy, is fairly general knowledge.
By the way, Johnny, I was watching Murder, She Wrote the other day, and do you know who was on it? Jerry Orbach.
Yeah.
Oh my god, every single anecdote I give from now till the end of time is going to start with, I watched Murder, She Wrote the other day. For those of you watching, this equates to my life is sad.
You think that's sad? Other than let me see if I can bring this question to you guys, and you guys can get it. How many cast members were previously extras on the show?
On Law and Order or Murder, She Wrote?
On Law and Order.
Probably the vast majority of them.
The answer is 3.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, the thing is, I didn't watch Law and Order, but I just know that it went on for like 30, like a ridiculous amount of seasons. I figured it'd be a large number.
Yeah, there was Asipartha Merkelson.
Wait, she was an extra?
She played a gal whose kid was murdered when the...
Oh, okay. So you mean like somebody who had played a bit in a previous season long ago and then came in to be a recurring cast member.
Then became an actual cast member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's her.
And then Jerry Orbach. He played some guy's defense attorney.
Okay.
And then Jeremy Sisto.
What did he play before he was a detective?
He also was he was Harry Hamlin's defense attorney.
Okay.
Oh, did they come back playing the same character?
No.
No. Different characters.
Okay.
Jeremy Sisto and Jerry Orbach, when they were actually part of the cast, they were detectives, but Johnny's saying they were defense attorneys in their first appearance.
Yeah.
On the show.
And then the captain, or was it lieutenant? The lieutenant was a mother who lost her child. When
shit, what was her name now? I'm drawing a blank.
Esipasa.
No. The character, the cop.
Oh yeah, that's what I was looking up.
I always have fucking terrible trouble pronouncing the actress's name. I always get tongue tied. But for some, I can hear it in my head. I just for some reason cannot.
Anita Van Buren.
Lieutenant Van Buren.
Yes.
But yeah, that's an interesting little tidbit there. I did not put those together. Like I always like the episodes where it would drive my mom crazy when I was a kid watching Law and Order with her, because I would figure out who like the killer was generally before, you know, and sometimes I would figure it out, you know, in the opening credits.
Yeah,
You
that's
know, be like, oh, somebody's guest starring. He did it.
If he's not dead in the first 15 seconds, he's the guy who did it.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing, except I didn't watch Law and Order. I would do it with detective shows. So, like, if
CSI was one that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got my mom to quit watching pretty much any scripted crime show for the better part of a decade.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would just guess who did it, and my mom would be like, "Oh, really?" And then it would turn out to be right. Oops. And I wouldn't even know why. I would just say, "Hey, that guy kind of looks like he'd be the killer."
I can just imagine Jack as a kid be like, he's got a criminal head shape.
What?
Just, you know, suggesting that you may have used phrenology to figure out who was the killer on CSI.
Oh. You cut out for like a split second.
Oh.
He looks like a what?
Oh, I said, I just like imagine you as the type of kid who would be like, he looks like he's got a criminal head shape. I think he did it.
Oh. Well, no, it would usually be based upon like who they set up to make look like the killer. Like, oh, it would obviously be the person's wife. Well, no. So which one of these people looks obvious, and they're gonna try and make them look like the killer, and that only leaves a few people left. And of those few people, who has the, you know, which one seems like the best person to set up as the killer? Oftentimes, it's a gut judgment.
You know what? What got me to stop watching Law and Order, Johnny? All the ripped from the headlines episodes.
Ripped from the headlines.
Like I think the ones that I really stick out to me were Steve Bartman and Anna Nicole Smith. When they did those ripped from the headlines kind of episodes.
The ones that were a little too. It's like, come on.
I didn't watch Law and Order, but I still feel like there are a few select episodes that I kind of want to see for the sake of it, and one of them is wasn't there a Gamergate episode of Law and Order?
That was
SVU.
SVU, okay.
Oh God, dude! Here's another interesting story from the Oklahoma jail system. Apparently, I don't know if this is just the jailers being, you know, dicks, or if it's just a criminal mindset. But in jail, it seems like there's always crime shows on. It's like Law and Order SVU. So like you're sitting in the drunk tank for 12 hours just hearing about rape.
Someone's getting some lessons.
Yeah, me and a buddy, you know, we were in the drunk tank when we were in college, and you know, small little jail. And they had the TV just sitting there, you know, right outside the bars where nobody could get to it. USA Network, about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. SV, you know, you get the dun dun. I just looked at my buddy. I was like, dude, we're about to hear like 3 hours of rape stories. He's like, what? I was like, just listen. Like, you know, 6 in the morning, he's like, you're right, that was about 3 hours of, you know, Law and Order SVU. I don't know how that show managed to stay on the air so long. It's like, really? You guys are some sick bastards. This is what you watch for fun? I never got into that one as nearly as much as like the regular one in was it the Criminal Intent? I like Vincent D'Onofrio being a weirdo.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the fact that they wrote him off.
Didn't they make him go crazy?
Well, after it was after his in the 10th season, they kind of had him go cuckoo, and then they brought him back, and they ended the series with everything kind of going back to normal. And then in an SVU episode where they have Catherine Irby playing, she's like, yeah, he just kind of walked off. And it's like, no, that guy either is going to go fucking insane and just put one in his head, or he's like going to go into the loony bin.
How do you know he didn't go insane and put one in his head after he walked off? They let you choose your own adventure, Johnny.
Yeah, but
he could be upstate at the Finger Paint Academy. It's whatever you want it to be, man.
No, they just kind of passed it off as if it was just something that he's like, whatever. He just kind of walked away. He just kind of quit. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, Detective Gorn does not seem the type to pull a Bill Bixby on, just walking away. Sad Hulk.
Hey, I just noticed.
I need that sounder.
We have 6 people watching right now, which means that at least 2 people are watching, because that includes, all 4 of us probably with the stream open watching it.
Yeah, I got it open so I can pop out chat. So the 2 people that are just chilling, hi.
Hey, you want to go with the summoning there, Camel?
Say what?
You want to go with the summoning?
Depends. Which geographical region are we summoning?
Yep, the only one awake at this time.
I think both are awake at this time. Jack, you seem to have a pretty good grasp of the time zones. Saudi Arabia is what time?
Saudi Arabia would probably be about an hour maybe after England, which would put them at like 9 a.m. I'm not certain, but that's just a guess.
Allahu Akbar!
Let me take Saudi time.
And depending on which part of the country you're...
I was off by an hour. I was close, though.
Depending on which part of the country you're aiming for, it could be any number of time zones in... Let's see who shows up first. Do we get the commies or the terrorists?
Say, do you guys want to do?
Is there any context to this? Because I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
The whole reason why the whole anthem got started was because one night I played it, jokingly, something about communism.
Well, you
we had Russians in chat.
No, you were talking about getting the sound pad.
Well,
and then we started talking about communism, and then you played it. And then next thing you know, people are like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" in Russian in the chat.
No, I was wondering about the terrorists.
Oh, I've tried using the Aloha snack bar one, and it's never got any Arabic writing in chat. So I keep holding out hope. Maybe somebody.
Why don't you play some weird like microtonal shit or something? I
mean, we already have a communist claiming monetization on Johnny's streams. I don't want T-Series trying to get in on it too.
I'm so sorry.
That's completely different part of Asia, Johnny.
It's my Mickey Rooney impression.
Oh.
Those are the Asians that won't murder you.
But no, one of these days.
Well, the thing is, I have a word that it's a Canadian, so it technically does count as a terrorist. Yes. Because there's like an 80% chance he's Muslim anyway. Just saying.
Do you guys want to do some games?
No, it's 2 hours in. I was thinking about wrapping it up soon.
Right.
I didn't.
Well,
I
I
didn't
can't
realize
wrap
it was 2
up
hours
your
in,
stream,
but
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, just about almost at the 2 hour mark.
Wow.
Are we that far?
Yeah.
I got 114.
Same.
114 minutes.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we should go ahead and stop since Johnny came out being the racist sounding one in that whole deal. I don't give me a chance to top him. Let's go ahead and get out of here.
Let's just get this all off our chest. Let's say all the racist, horrible things that we can.
Quick,
Okay,
Pat.
you first.
Quick, Pat, save me.
Oh my God, what are you doing there, Bill? Michael's a special kind of guy.
And this is the moment when we'll look back tomorrow if we all wake up and realize that it's now Michael Hellcat. Johnny changed his name to Disavow.
Hey, I don't care. Let them take me off of YouTube, please. I'm begging you.
Don't make me break my foot off in your ass!
Vehicle.
See, I've created a monster. I've told Johnny so much about Soundhead. I don't even have to do anything anymore.
I love menthol!
I don't even have to do anything. I don't have to press any buttons.
No.
I just show up.
Your job is what you wanted it to be.
I'm a supervisor now.
All right, yeah, that's probably a good idea for us to
go ahead and get out of here.
Yeah.
For us.
We've been going on like Monkey's been going for an hour already.
Yep. We started pretty much right after we did.
That's why we have 2 people.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I will entertain the fuck out of those 2 people.
But at the same time, I have to wonder, is like, what are you 2 people doing here?
Well, I think one of them is sleeping.
Probably. Well, that was you for like a good hour.
No, I meant
one of them is sleeping, and the other one has us on as background noise while they're having sex.
You're welcome.
Well, that's no way to talk about Sora. She's she's filming.
For that one guy out there, oh yeah. Do that to that woman over there.
Or that guy, whichever way, whatever blows your hair back, we're not here to judge.
Either way, I stick with you're welcome.
Actually, that's pretty funny. I remember we had it was when Jackass was a thing. And we rented a camera from the video store. And it was one of those ones where you had like the VHS tape that goes into the machine. An actual VHS tape.
Is this a story of how Johnny and some unnamed previous girlfriend made a sex tape?
No. No sex tape. But we were...
Well, already that story is 30% worse. But go on.
We were recording while we were eating at this restaurant. And my friend, he's like, I got an idea. And there's a group of girls sitting behind us. And he just takes the camera and points it to him. And he's like, do something sexy for the camera. And everyone just like starts looking at each other like, what do we do? And they just don't do anything. And so he's like, yeah, you guys are no fun. And so he kind of just acted like he was going back to what he was doing. And the gal grabs a bottle of ketchup and then goes to pour it on her hash browns. And he turns the camera back and goes, pour that ketchup.
God.
And yeah.
I thought
that was great.
I thought this story was going to end up with you saying like you accidentally taped over something from the video store.
No, this isn't a Be Kind Rewind type of thing.
Yeah. it was gonna be like, and the next family to get that copy of Liar Liar.
Well, I can think of two things right with this video. There is nothing but lies here.
All right, guys. Well, probably a good time to call it a night. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna do.
I gotta find a way to actually turn this off because it sent me back to.
So who's controlling the stream? Is it Johnny Hellcat or Hate Camel?
Yes.
I don't have any buttons to push except for the end call one.
Oh,
All right.
and by the way, if you are still watching this, make sure to tune into my stream next week because Johnny Hellcat is going to be on the game stream on my channel.
Not next week. It's the week after.
What?
The 30th.
Wait, hold on. Oh shit! You're right. You're right. Yep, that's the 30th.
Oh, okay. Well, if in that case I can plan ahead, I can go ahead and ask my boss off for that Tuesday.
That is excellent because
I was thinking it was this Tuesday, and I was like, I don't know what my schedule's going to be.
Oh
But yeah,
shit!
I'll go into work tomorrow, and I'll ask her to give me off the 30th.
Yeah, my vacation starts on the 27th and goes through the 3rd.
Well, you know that means that I'm fucked because now I have no guests lined up for next Tuesday.
Well, you can try and get Pat back. He,
Well, like I said, I can't commit just yet, but I get my schedule tonight. Well, when I go into work today. So I
You don't have to worry about that. I'll find people. Worst case scenario, I have people who fill in all the time. Like Jen T Maxi is usually pretty good about that, and I don't want to get random on again. No, random's okay. But we have the jokey, what do you call it? Rivalry thing. He is the Mimi to my Drew Carey. And
that paints a picture.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, be sure to check in if you like Johnny Hellcat. Be sure to check in on the 30th. That is 11:30 p.m. EST on my channel, and he's gonna be playing with us and maybe Hate Camel. Who knows? And because I would kind of like it to be like a crossover episode. Quippers United, Penny Arcade.
Don't cross.
Cross.
stream crossing.
What's happening, folks?
Yeah.
Do they have a Jackbox game that has more than 8 players?
Yeah.
Yes, there are a few. If you're not including ones where audience participation counts, in which case you could get potentially infinite amounts, there's a few of them like, what's it called? Bracketeering has up to 16.
Yeah.
And I think there's one off the first pack which has an absurd amount, like 99 or something, called Lie Swatter. But I've never played that one. It looks kind of shitty.
Huh. Well, that might be something we could at least try, I guess.
What, bracketeering? It's a long fucking game.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, 'cause I've never played it.
No, we can give that a try though. Yeah.
But yeah, I think if we want to aim also for audience participation, that would be something too.
Oh no. We don't need that because there's audience participation automatically in most games. So like if anything in party packs numbers 3 through 5, which are the newest ones, you can just enter a room code after all the player slots have been filled, and you join the audience. And usually they have audience participation things, like you can vote on certain answers, stuff like that. And that's usually what I do in terms of, because I almost never play numbers 1 and 2, because that way I can get the audience participation. I've seen pretty high numbers on that. I've gotten when Ranting Monkey came on, I think I had 14 people in the audience participation. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
These days, I'm averaging around 7. So that's a lot of fun right there.
Yeah, I remember watching like the Bearings one whenever he was playing Quiplash.
Oh, I was like, Bearing? I've never had him.
I was gonna say, like,
I would
damn,
remember
Dag,
that.
that's you burying the lead.
Holy shit! I didn't know I had that much clout. Got fucking Bearing on. No, I've had the most famous person I've had on my stream is Sinatra by a mile.
Oh, I missed that one. Like I got to catch. I think the first one you did with Gasoline on there. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had Ghastly, Peach Bailey, and Sinatra. All 3. It was 3 out of the 4 most popular YouTubers that have ever been on my channel. It was an absolute blast. If you go through it and watch it, it's really funny.
Yeah, I just end up missing the majority of them because it's Tuesday nights, and I usually end up working Tuesday nights. I get home probably the last 15 minutes of your stream, if I'm lucky.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate.
Yeah, doing this stream is just it's. I'm lucky if I even have the energy to even set it up.
And that's good in its own way. The thing is that some people like low energy. I like low energy. It's why I show up. It makes things feel low key and kind of you can just shoot the shit.
And I don't know if he's gonna watch this, but Sir Adamantine is definitely not a low energy one. Like, I don't know if you've seen his streams. They can
no.
They can get pretty antsy.
Like if I'm not watching Monkey in the morning, I'll flip over and I'll see. I usually see Addy on Doc Griffin when they do their IRS streams. But he seems pretty chill on those. So well, I had the honor of being the 100th guest on their 100th stream, and for the life of me, I don't know how that happened. Like, I was just scrolling through Twitter, and the co-host was looking for guests. I was like, guests for what? Oh, just a chill stream. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Next thing I know, like, I've got a DM with the Hangouts link. I was like, well, what's going on over here?
Hello, random link. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I was like, usually I at least know the person that, like, I've talked to them before.
No, I was trying to get a clip from Life before I signed on to this stream, but I couldn't find it.
I'm from New York City. Consequences, repercussions.
There's why do you gotta be so nasty, Rick? 'Cause I'm a nasty motherfucker.
Oh.
Yeah, but I was just oh, sorry, you go first.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say I like that movie.
I've never seen it, but I was because the other day I was having some family complications, and so I asked Johnny if in a pinch he would be able to host the stream for me on his channel. And you seemed really worried about like getting the format wrong. And, personally, I was kind of hoping you'd bring some of the low-key energy to the show because the thing about the show is that since I run it, it's very tight. It's very, I usually bang out 4 games in about 2 hours flat, and each game runs about 30 minutes.
Well, I think the only thing that I really have that's actually I can put as format for me is I'm inevitably going to screw up something. So
yeah.
So I think I can do pretty good off the cuff. Trying to
like we've been doing this closing for the past 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I do like the way that you run the show, and that's why I asked you specifically to do that for me, because I knew that, well, number one, you have the game, which is kind of, critical to playing it, but number two,
I
whenever
don't know, I can do a pretty good game stream without the game.
I think Jack just wants to read out all the Holocaust and sex tape answers in a low-key way.
Yeah, but I do appreciate you agreeing to help me out like that, even though it ended up not happening, obviously. But I do want you to know that I do appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm heading out.
All right.
Take it easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good night, chat.
Campbell, before
Good night. What? Yep.
All right, yeah, we're gonna close out, but I want to grab you for a sec.
Okay.